Hello, everyone, and welcome to FUL-ON, your Fulham-centric football podcast. Today, I'm joined by AJ and Mozza. How are we doing, guys?
All well, all well.
Very good.
Obviously, we've sat down already and we've talked about the Leicester game on the weekend. In this episode, we're going to do a quick preview of the cup game that's coming up on Tuesday night against Birmingham. Talk about what's likely to happen in terms of team selection, and we'll go from there. Really, the cup, we had a really good run in it last year. The League Cup, got all the way to the semis. We're a bit unlucky against Liverpool. I think it was a really bright spark in our season last year. It left us all super excited about football. I want to see a strongish approach from us this year in the cup. AJ, how about yourself? What do you want to? How do you want us to approach the cup this year? Is it a fundamental part of our season for a club our size? What do you want to see?
I mean, it's early doors in the cup. You'd expect us to take it somewhat seriously. We're not going to field our first team, obviously, but we're gonna field a few key players to make sure that we're not left lacking. Hopefully, anyway. And that we can progress onto the next rounds of the cups. I think if we're being realistic with ourselves, outside of a push for the European Conference League, we're most likely to be looking at a cup run to have any form of major success this season. So I expect us to take it seriously.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think that last year, probably like most teams in the cup, we got through the early rounds last year. We beat Tottenham in that really fun game at the Cottage on penalties, and then obviously had Ipswich away. Um, and I think it's once you get first through the first two rounds as a Premier League club, then you start taking the cup really seriously because you can see sort of the light at the end of the tunnel. And it is one of those that if you lose and you get knocked out, you can just concentrate on the league. But if you stay in, then you stay in. Mozart, I know when we spoke about when we were talking last year amongst ourselves about how excited we got about with the Liverpool games and getting to the semi-final. Um, what would that be acceptable for you this year to get that far in the cup competition, or would you rather concentrate on the league and head for Europe?
I am a fan that's always said we should be aiming for silverware, whatever it was. I don't want us to continue singing the Intertoto, we won it one time for the rest of my life at least. So absolutely, whether it be semi-finals or finals, ultimately, yes, want to win a cup. So I think we need to have that ambition, and yes, I think we should be taking it seriously.
Yeah, I agree with you somewhat, but I'm also in agreement with AJ that I'm expecting sort of wholesale changes to the game on Tuesday night. Are there any players when we look at it, AJ, that you think you definitely want to see getting some minutes in this game, getting a maybe they're on the verges of the first team, and it'll be a good chance for them to prove it. Is there any sort of the youngsters you're looking forward to seeing play?
I mean, first and foremost, it's got to be Ryan Sessegnon. He needs some minutes. I think it's a good opportunity for him. We all want to see him in a forward position, but I think he probably starts the game at left back. Maybe because we're going to be attacking anyway, so he can just have that opportunity to free roam up the pitch from left back. But maybe also because, as I alluded to in our last video, I think Marco Silva considers him a defensive-minded player as opposed to a forward. But yeah, I think Ryan Sessegnon. I think we'll probably see Stansfield come up against Birmingham, which is highly likely to be expected. I think we probably see our two new boys in Anderson, who's not actually new, but you know what I mean. Anderson and Sander Berge probably start, and then just fill the squad with sort of fringe youth players outside of that. The thing is, we've got quite a few fringe first team players as well that will also want minutes. So it's kind of hard to give the youngsters the luxury of playing, but I suppose that can be balanced out by going, listen, we're playing Birmingham here in this round. If we get through, there's more likely that we're going to need bigger, more important players. So you're more likely to play.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Moz, is there anyone in the squad that you're sort of excited to see play, or you want to see play?
I echo what AJ just said. Ryan Sessegnon for sure. I think he definitely does need game time. Wouldn't mind seeing Anson actually get in there to start as well.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think it's going to be important for Anderson to sort of come in and sort of get some minutes from Marco. Just to, we know he should be match fit because he's had a full pre-season and played a Premier League game for Palace this season. The one I'm not so sure about is Sander Berge because we're not 100% sure on his conditioning. I don't think he had much of a pre-season with Burnley, and I don't think he played any pre-season friendlies or anything for them. So I don't quite know that his level of fitness and whether or not this game's still going to be a bit too soon for him. But it would be nice to see him at least, in the squad and getting some minutes at some point during the game. I'm excited to see Stansfield playing at Birmingham again. It's been a running joke throughout this whole summer that Birmingham City fans seem to be absolutely adamant that he's joining Birmingham, and every time he's seen slightly smiling in a photo, it's because he's on his way to Birmingham and stuff like that. So it'll be good to see him play for us and scoring back at Birmingham's ground because he had such a good loan there last year, and it would be nice to see that. I think when you look at the two squads, realistically, we have a much stronger squad than Birmingham do, even with our fringe players. Naturally we should do. We're 2 leagues above them. That's exactly how it should be. It would be nice to see a couple of the youngsters maybe get a run out on Tuesday night. But I still expect us to have quite a lot for Birmingham's to be able to sort of to deal with. Also, it is quite prominently clear that I don't know how they've started the season in the sense of, I think they've been a bit mix and match Birmingham in the way that they played in their results as well. But they are expected to do quite well as a team this year because of having such a strong squad in the league they're in. They they managed to beat Orient over the weekend, 2-1. And let's be honest, Leighton Orient aren't exactly, the hardest team in that league to have to play against. So I'm a bit unsure of what Birmingham we're going to see playing against us. I imagine they'll probably go as strong as they can. Obviously, minus Luke Harris because he can't play against us. I'll be very surprised if we've given him permission to be allowed to play against us. I want to see us go into the game quite positive. AJ, ultimately, what approach do you want us to see us play with the game? You mentioned when you were talking about seeing Ryan Sessegnon play and expecting us to be quite attacking. Just how do you think we will approach the game? And how should we approach the game as the Premier League team?
I think it'll be more of the same that we saw against Leicester. It'll be a lot of practicing that high press and trying to win the ball back early and punish teams at the top end of the pitch. And trying to hopefully use a few youthful, energetic players to do so. Something that we did in Leicester is that we petered out a little bit and let them take time to control the ball. Yes, it was under our terms. They were only passing sort of between their defence for the most part. But we still allowed them quite a bit of possession of the ball back. I'd like to see us significantly reduce that against Birmingham. I'd expect a high 60s, 70s threshold of possession for us in this game. Realistically, even if we do play quite a few of the kids, as you said, we're 2 leagues above them. Even if we played our under 21s, it would be expected that they'd be able to give them a half decent game based on the quality that we have. And I don't say that from a position of arrogance. And if we do end up losing to Birmingham now, I mean no disrespect to you guys if you are watching this, but as a Premier League team that has ambitions of pushing for Europe, that's realistically how we should be talking.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with that. Mozza, have you got anything you'd like to add to that?
I completely agree. I would just like to see Stansfield come on and score a goal, if not start. Maybe get a hat-trick, that would be nice.
Cool. Okay. Well, obviously, this episode was only ever going to be short and sweet. We don't really know what we're team we're going to play. In sense of it going through, but looking at the results and the way we approached the cup last year, I want to see a similar approach to how we played Ipswich away last year in the cup, in the sense of You know, we were really positive. We were really, really attacking. And that Ipswich squad that, you know, was on a real high in there because of how they were playing in the league. Even though it was only the start of the season, they started really, really strongly. I thought we took the game to them really, really well, and it was a good mixture of, you know, experience and some youth in our squad last year. And I think as a whole, our squad's in a much stronger position than it was this time last season. It's almost like signing players before the transfer deadline day helps the squad and helps
Yeah.
Marco. You know, we're learning, I think, with that. Um, I want you guys to give me a match prediction just so we can have a bit of fun with that and go with that. So, AJ, I want you to tell me one player from Fulham that you think everyone should watch out for and a scoreline prediction.
One player in this particular game that they should watch out for is probably Stansfield to be the boring guy. I think if he starts, he's gonna want to perform, both for us and for the watching Birmingham supporters who he's got a good reputation with. So he won't want to let down. And score prediction 4-1 Fulham. I think we might concede first to something sloppy and then back up our ideas.
I think that's quite a positive result, you know. Mozza, how about yourself? Give us one player that you want to watch, who Birmingham fans should probably watch out for from us, and a scoreline prediction.
I would have said Stansfield as well, but I'm going to change it up a bit and say Harrison Reed, who I hope starts. I think he is a player that should be starting a bit more. I think he's quite the game changer. My scoreline prediction is going to be 3-1. I'm going to stick with the fingers crossed Stansfield hat trick.
Lovely stuff.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad shout. I think for me, you know, I'm expecting quite a lot of changes in the game on Tuesdays. We keep saying, and I'm hoping that Ryan Sessegnon comes back in. It's quite smooth. So for me, I'm hoping Ryan Sessegnon's the player to watch because if he's on the pitch, I'll definitely be watching him a lot because, you know, so happy to see him back. I know Mozzie, you don't necessarily have the same sentimental heart as I do with that, but
Don't know what you're talking
I'm
about.
happy. I'm happy to see him back. I'm happy to see him back. In terms of scoreline, you know, pessimistic Fulham fan hat on. You know, I will take a 2-1 victory. I don't see us keeping a clean sheet because I never expect us to. But I'm also don't want to be boring and just say 2-1. So I'm going to say 3-1 myself as well. Depending on who's up top on Tuesday. I've got a feeling that we might see Stansfield and Rail playing, and those two should have the ability to score against teams like Birmingham, especially if Rail's playing because I think he needs some minutes as well. We're going to leave this episode here. It was only a short one because there's not really a lot to preview in terms of Birmingham in the cup. We haven't played in the cup this year, so we don't really know what we're to expect from us. So we're going to leave it there. Please like and subscribe to the show. Share it amongst your Fulham mates. Join us on Friday when we will be previewing our upcoming game against Ipswich. Until then, come on, you Whites.
Come on, you Whites.